another exciting edition of the SoCal Prep Report. Richard Strail, I'm with Randy Rosenblum and Bob Gibson. And Bob, you're not sick anymore, huh?
No, I'm good.
Corona didn't get you?
Nope, 100%.
All right,
Ready to go.
Today. All right, we appreciate that. Well, listen, it's pretty much the end of the basketball season. Not for everybody. It's just the regular season is now concluded. The playoffs are on the doorstep. They're coming up. They're going to start playing Friday. There's a couple of wild card games, Bob, going on. But there's like 1,000 schools that play basketball in Southern California. 1,000 teams, I should say, with the boys and girls combined. And let's take a look at the top 10 as we conclude the regular season. All these teams are headed to the playoffs. Number one position, no surprise, fellas, in the boys division, Sierra Canyon in the top spot.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to say, right? This is a team that's shown in the past, different cast of characters, but that they can turn it on very quickly, and they've got the talent again to do it this year.
Yeah, they're very talented. They have 2 McDonald's All-Americans and
is that all?
Boston and
They got
Williams.
a Burger King All-American too, man. Bring that up.
They have everything. They have Ronnie James.
Chick-fil-A.
But I just don't know. I'm not sold yet. I know they're the 2-time state champions in the Open Division. We're going to see. I think once they get into pool play this week, it's going to be very interesting for them.
We're going to have a lot more to say about these guys in a little bit. Let's get through this top 10, man, okay? Let's go to Rancho Christian in the 3rd position, followed by Etiwanda. There you see St. Anthony. St. Anthony is a little tiny school in Long Beach.
Yes, they are.
I'm telling you guys, it's so small, it's like a grammar school out there. But they're in there, the number 5 team, and we'll talk about them being in the Division I playoffs. You got Ribbit Academy at the 6th position, followed by Modern Day. When would we ever see, Centennial Corona, Rancho Christian, Etiwanda, St. Anthony, Ribbit over Modern Day in basketball? When would we think we would ever see that?
I don't know how good I feel having Modern Day and Bosco below St. Anthony and Ribbit Academy, Ribbet, however you want to say it. They are the Fighting Frogs. Good question. Well, sometimes I think there's a little bit of, you just think, oh gosh, Modern Day, Bosco, it's the same old cast of characters. We got some new. St. Anthony's kind of a new team, right?
Yeah.
Ribbet's come on the scene last couple of years.
We're going to talk about them.
Talk about some new teams.
They're all in the Division I. Let's save it for that. Let's get back and see the graphic and take a look at what's left. We have St. John Bosco in the 8th position, Trinity League team, followed by Windward Academy and Harvard-Weslake, fellas.
I really like Harvard-Westlake. I saw them this week win the Mission League championship game. They play a tournament in the Mission League. They knocked off a very good Chaminade squad. We're going to hear from Mason Hooks here in a few minutes. This is a very well-coached team by Dave Rabibo. They're better than I thought. I think they're better than 10, and I think they have a chance to win some games in the Open Division.
No doubt about it. Wait till we look at the Open Division. Matter of fact, let's do it now. Let's take a look at the Open Division. Now, the Open Division is where you have 8 teams, and they all play each other. And then the winners from Pool A will take on the winners from Pool B. And let me tell you something. This year, it's as loaded as it's ever been. I'm going to tell you right now, it's as loaded as it's ever been, guys, because there is no clear-cut front runner. Let's take a look now. We see Pool A, we have Sierra Canyon taking on Bosco, Etiwanda taking on St. Anthony. Now, just so you guys know, everybody out there, Sierra Canyon, of course, was the number 1 entry. The number 4 entry is Etiwanda, number 5 is St. Anthony, and number 8 is St. John Bosco. So that's what's in Pool A. Fellas, let's talk about Pool A for just a minute. Sierra Canyon would seem to be the perennial front runner in this, although they've been had at some point this season as well. What do you guys think?
I like Etiwanda to win that bracket. I think they're going to meet in the second game. I think they play great defense. They've added Jalen Clark since they lost a 4-point game to Sierra Canyon earlier in the year. I just like Dave Kleckner's team, the way they play defense, the way they've come on. Brantley Stevenson is great, and I mentioned Clark coming in. So I really think they're a very tough team, and that's a real challenge for Sierra Canyon.
That's a bold statement, Randy, because Sierra Canyon has beaten Etiwanda this season, and they split with Rancho Christian. If we're talking about teams in the Open Division already. Now, of course, Rancho Christian is not in this bracket. They're in Pool B. But that's interesting that you think Etiwanda might come away out of this bracket. Bob, what are your thoughts about this bracket?
Well, I think it's hard to pick against Sierra Canyon. I mean, they're just loaded top to bottom, talent-wise. And like I said earlier, we've seen it before. Sierra Canyon, they know they've got the talent. They know Andre Chevalier knows how to push those buttons and get his team fired up this time of year. So I think we're going to see a Sierra Canyon team that can take it up another notch in the postseason.
They're going to have to against Etiwanda because they're going to get in their face.
Etiwanda and St. Anthony's, if you look at it, interesting ball game. These are two teams that are in there now. I don't understand why St. Anthony is in this bracket. There's so many good schools out there, but St. Anthony has come out of nowhere. And St. Anthony's signature win this year, if I'm not mistaken, was a split with Bosco.
Right, and
they split with Bosco, and they're in the Division I Open Division. I mean, they're in the Open Division bracket.
And I think that's the big question about St. Anthony, right? Is who they played? Has the competition been as high as some of the other teams in the Open Division?
But both those games were on the road. I say at, so that's the big difference. They played on the road against Bosco.
They split.
What is that,
they
50,
split.
15
They
minutes
split.
down the road?
It's a difference, though. You're not playing in your own little
True.
gym. So they went to St. John Bosco. So that's very good. And Jaden Jones has had a terrific year. They play suffocating defense. They also have beaten Bishop Montgomery. So they have some good wins. I think they deserve, with a great record, to be in there. I just don't think they're going to get by Etiwanda. I think Etiwanda will take them out.
It's a tough challenge.
Now let's take a look at Bosco. Of course, Bosco lost to Etiwanda. They split with St. Anthony's, and then they lost to Rancho Christian and Mater Dei this year.
Yeah,
so they split with Mater Dei.
Right.
So again, Bosco played a lot of tough teams. They got a little resume. Bosco, I think, has played one of the tougher schedules, obviously, because they played a lot of teams in this Division I bracket. Let's go to Pool B now. I think we're all in agreement, except with Randy, that Sierra Canyon will probably take this bracket, although you have to play the games. That's why we play them. All right. Sitting atop the Pool B is Centennial Corona. As you can see, they were the number 2 seed coming in. They will be playing Mater Dei, the number 7. And then Rancho Christian, number 3 seed, will take on Harvard-Westlake. Fellas, first of all, Corona Centennial, Mater Dei. Corona Centennial has already beaten Mater Dei this season, fellas. They've beaten... like I said, they beat Mater Dei, and boy, I lost my notes here. They lost to Harvard-Westlake, and they also beat Rancho Christian.
Yes.
So they have a pretty good resume, fellas.
It's funny about the Open. Everybody's beating everybody at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
You know, nobody's really dominated anybody of all these teams we've seen in this Open Division. I think that's what's fun about it. I think that's why there's a feeling that it's a little bit wide open. I like Centennial. It's hard to pick against Centennial. I think Josh Giles has his best team he's ever had at Corona Centennial, and I think if they're going to make a run, if they're going to get some sort of a championship here with Corona Centennial, I think this is the team that has the chance to do it. It's hard to look at them as an underdog against Mater Dei in round 1. I think some people will look at it that way. I don't see it that way at all. I think Mater Dei's
Mater Dei might be seething, though, at this
Mater
point.
Dei is a definitive underdog here. You're right. There's just
6
something.
losses on the season, though.
Mater
Bob.
Dei is talented. There's just been something missing about this Mater Dei team all year. Nobody can really put their finger on it, but they just haven't come up like these old Mater Dei teams. And with all that talent, you'd think they'd be dominating people a little more.
6 teams have put their finger on it, Bob, because they got 6 losses. Randy, what do you say?
This is a wide open bracket here on Pool B. Any of the 4 teams could win it. I think you're underrating Harvard-Westlake, but I think Rancho Christian is really the team to beat. They have the win over Sierra Canyon. They split with Sierra Canyon. They have the great Evan Mobley in the middle. They have shooters surrounding them. I believe Rancho Christian is the team to beat in the second pool, but it could go to any of them. And Mater Dei is an interesting club. They've just been hanging around. Everyone's picking on them, but they did go 9-1 in the Trinity League. They have a tremendously big physical front line. They still have the best point guard in the CIF Southern section in Devin Askew. Mater Dei is dangerous. And Corona Centennial beat them at the Turkanian Classic early in the year by 10. It's a different season come postseason play. Mater Dei beat Corona Centennial in the playoffs last year. That's a very difficult challenge for Giles' team.
Rancho Christian's either going to shoot themselves in or shoot themselves out of Pool B. I think that's going to be the key there.
I really think we could have Etiwanda and Rancho Christian in the championship game when it's all said and done. Through the pool play, I think those are the 2 teams that are getting out of there.
That would be a fun game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Rancho Christian and Etiwanda.
Interesting, fellas. I'm looking at some of the more notes here. Of course, Rancho Christian beat Bosco. Mm-hmm. They lost to Corona Centennial, though. And as you mentioned, they split with Sierra Canyon. Harvard-Westlake beat Centennial, lost to St. Anthony. Again, this is all open division stuff. And, of course, Mater Dei split with Bosco and lost to Centennial. I'm not sure how it's going to met out if you beat somebody earlier in the season. As we've seen, a lot of these teams, when they met the second time, split.
Right.
So possibility, like you say, Centennial might be in some trouble in this division. Mater Dei's got a lot of payback to give. I don't know if they have the team and they have the muscle to get it done, however.
Well, they have 5 starters back from last year. It's a team that did well in pool play last year. They won 2 out of 3 games. I think Mater Dei and Gary McKnight have been licking their chops for tournament play. I think it's been tough for them through the regular season. I just think they have been waiting, and I think they're very dangerous in that pool.
All right, let's get out of Division I now, because, again, these teams are going to be playing left and right. A couple other notable teams. We can't go over everybody because there's, 500 games going on this next couple of days, but the Open Division is the best division. That's going to be where, these teams will end up going to state at some degree. But taking a look, one of the ones I want to talk about was Los Altos, Jared Lucas's team, the all-time leading scorer from last year. I asked Coach Lucas, is the cover going to be bare? And he said, I don't think so. I think we're going to do well with it. 24-3 on the season. They're going to take on Notre Dame in the opening round. And, of course, the all-time leading scorer from CIF of all time, Jared Lucas, is now at Oregon State, Bob.
He's having a nice little year over there, right? Hasn't played a ton, but getting his feet wet out there, and he's had a couple of good games. Yeah, 20-point game, last week or
21
before
points.
that? Right. So,
getting his feet wet as a true freshman.
It's a tall order, right? It's a tall order to go from anywhere to a Pac-12 school like that.
Absolutely, so big time.
Yeah, good for Jared. I had no doubt. I mean, he's a good kid with his head screwed on right on his shoulders, and I think he's up to that challenge out there.
Yeah, whenever you can shoot the ball the way Jared Lucas can shoot it, there's a place for you at any level. It's certainly at the Pac-12. He's great for Oregon State. He's going to have a really good career there. He's going to have a lot of 20-point games. He's a tremendous three-point shooter.
Yeah,
in this day and age, you need three-point shooters.
He's got that calm way about him.
He certainly does.
And
you would expect
the good shooters are like that.
An all-time leading scorer in the Southern section to do well in college. Let's talk about Harvey Catania now. He's back. He's going back, man. He lost 2 games. This is Rolling Hills Prep. This is the tiny little school that can. They just can.
Does he have 50
Doesn't
kids?
matter who they play.
In the whole school, there's 50 kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Not
He's
on the
amazing.
roster. That's the whole school.
He's got about 12 to choose from for his team.
Come on, knock it off. They got about 117 kids in that school, but this guy can coach. He could coach a dog to bark. I mean, he could do anything. I mean, this guy's amazing.
It's Harvey.
He wins championships every year. He's also got Benny Gieler, who can really score, so that really helps him.
It's another team we're going to look at. Okay, Randy, what interview did you have this week? You were talking about earlier. You've been busy.
Yeah, I've been running around. I had the opportunity after Harvard-Westlake won the Mission League Championship to chat with their 6'10", 255-pound senior center. He's on his way to Princeton. That's Mason Hooks. He averages 15 points and 15 rebounds. In fact, in a semifinal game against Alameda last week in the Mission League, he had 35 and 15. He's had a tremendous year, and we had an opportunity to talk to him. On our SoCal Prep Report Spotlight, we have a wonderful player from Harvard-Westlake. The Wolverines just wrapped up the Mission League Championship. His name is Mason Hooks. Mason, congratulations on a league title.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Now, you've done some broadcasting on campus, girls basketball and baseball?
That's right, yeah. Color commentary.
Is that something you want to do down the road?
You know what? I'm definitely open to doing it in the future. I wouldn't say it's my main focus or anything, but it's super fun, and yeah, it's great.
Your main focus on the basketball floors, getting baskets inside, but I love the way you run the floor. Talk about your approach to the game night in and night out.
Yeah, for me, the biggest key is really just being aggressive, I'd say, is, really getting, hyped up before the game, making sure to really make a point early of getting baskets inside, being physical, not floating on the perimeter as much, just kind of going inside early, being aggressive early. That's the key for me usually.
You've played and performed for Dave Rabibo. His teams are so well coached. We saw you come out last year and win a Mission League title in similar fashion against Loyola. What does he do to get you so well prepared?
Coach Rabibo's great. I mean, he does everything. He watches so much film, and he has great game plans all the time, puts together a great scouting report. And, he believes in us, thoroughly. And no matter how tough it gets, he's never going to give up. He's never going to stop believing. And that's I think, his best quality.
Well, you're a very mature young man, and I know you're going to the Open Division. You have a win over a very good Corona Centennial team that'll be in that 8-man pool in the Open Division. Break it down for me. How are the Wolverines going to do with the Sierra Christians and Sierra Catholics and all those different schools in there?
You know what? We're ready. That's all I'll say. And we're ready. We've been ready. This has been a goal of ours for a long time, and we're going to make some noise.
Before I let you go, I got to talk about your future going to Princeton. What went into the decision to play in the Ivy League?
Well, you know what? I'm really into science, and molecular biology is what I want to study. And I thought that going to the Ivy League would give me a great opportunity to get a great education, learn a lot. And that being said, the basketball is really great there too. And, they really did a great job, I think, recruiting me. They came after me pretty hard, and, I'm excited to get there. Once you're done with molecular biology, what do you do with that major? You know what? The possibilities are endless, I guess. It's such a growing field, and, I'm excited to learn a lot about it and excited to get started. Well, congratulations on a tremendous career here at Harvard-Westlake. Thank you. Best of luck in the Open Division. Thank you. He's a great one. Mason Hooks, 6'10", 255 pounds. He gets it done. He's our spotlight player
on SoCal Prep Report.
All right, now it's time to look at the girls' top 10. This is how the season ended. This is how everybody saw it here. All right, let's take a look. I have nothing to do with this, so when you want to kill somebody, Bob and Randy are your people. All right, Sierra Canyon, number 1, followed by Windward, Mater D. Look at Long Beach Poly, Bob.
I know. I like
Long
that.
Beach Poly's in this thing.
Jackrabbits, that team's always good. That program's always good to get in there and do some damage.
I love Juju Watkins, the freshman point guard at Windward. She's terrific.
Another Juju, huh? Like Smith?
Yep.
From Poly. All right, you got Rosary. Bob's been high on Rosary all season long, and they're the number 5 position, followed by Etiwanda, Centennial, Corona, Linwood, Harvard-Westlake, and Troy. And fellas, believe it or not, there are 6 schools that have the boys and the girls in the playoffs. And the top 10, in the top 10.
Sierra Canyon, Windward, Mater Day, Etowanda,
Harvard-Westlake,
Centennial, Corona, and Harvard-Westlake.
They're all
all
in,
have
man.
boys and girls programs that are highly ranked and all have a chance to win championships. It's really something, and it's, I don't know, it's something to talk about, I guess, but how can the boys and girls programs both be so good at so many schools?
It's a commitment to the athletic programs at those individual schools. The ADs and the administration care about their athletic programs, and thus they're strong in both the boys and the girls.
Of course, Rosary's a girls-only school, so
Right.
can't have a boys team
But
there.
you have like I said, well, same with Bosco. Bosco's in here, and
Servite.
Bosco they'd probably all be in too.
Right.
But all boys schools. All right, Randy. No, I think we're going to, no, it is you. City section. City section playoff, city section top 10. Yes, it is you.
Talk about the Wild West. Talk about a wide open bracket.
Well, we're going into the tournament now, so we're going to just call and look at matchups. And here's the first one. This is the 8-1 game. ECR is a very dangerous 8. There's 8 teams in the open division that start this weekend. And Fairfax is the top-seeded team. They have Keith Dinwiddie, who's going to San Diego State. ECR's had a lot of injuries. Games at Fairfax line should advance, but ECR is dangerous. So that's game 1. Let's take a look at our next game. This one's interesting. Chris Tate's an outstanding player at Gardena, transfer from Fremont. Birmingham has the most talent in the open division. They're the 4 seed. There was a period during the year where they lost 6 games in a row. They've won their last 8. They are a very solid team. I love David Elliott, the way he shoots. A lot of people think Westchester, the number 2 seed at home, is going to lose to Washington Prep. Washington Prep, the Generals have had a great year. I just think Ed Azam, and he's got the kind of talent that's going to get by here. They're the number 2 seed playing at home. I think they'll find a way to advance and win this game. Westchester is still big and physical and strong. They don't always shoot the ball well. And the final game in the open division is 3rd-seeded King Drew against Taft. Now, the Toreadors have Ramel Lloyd, who's a fabulous guard, and if he goes off, they could upset King Drew. King Drew forfeited 5 games late in the year, and that's why they fell to number 3. They still have Fidelis Okereke. Now, Okereke is phenomenal. He might be the best player in the LA
hurt
City
to say
section.
that, Randy?
I looked down because I want to
muscle in
make
my
sure I got
tongue
the
on
first
that.
name right. Fidelis Okereke, he's 6'6", and he's a monster inside. Fremont and Grant in D1's an interesting game. This is dangerous. Fremont's lower seeded. Grant's coming out of the East Valley League. It's going to be a real challenge. They've dominated in the East Valley. Will they dominate against Fremont, who has the athletes? And here's the most intriguing storyline in boys basketball in week 1. Granada Hills is the favorite here. Dorsey is 3-22, went 0-10 in their league, but they're in the playoffs.
How?
Because everyone in Division I gets in. Are you Indian? How?
No.
I like that.
He is.
Yeah, so Granada Hills will probably win. Loparina does a great job there year in and year out as the head coach at Granada Hills. But Dorsey gets an opportunity to continue their basketball season, even though they're 3-22.
3-22.
3-22. How about some girls' games?
Let's do it.
How about it?
Taft's had some big wins in the West Valley League this year. Pally's the number 1 seed. There's some teams with better records than Palisades, but the Dolphins are the top team. They won the D1 title last year, and they have a great chance as the
Pally's
top
always
seed.
the number 1 seed. I'll go Narbonne a couple of times, but it's usually
Narbonne's got the
Pally.
greatest tradition of everyone. Granada Hills is actually the defending city champion. This is a terrific game that could go either way. These are 2 programs that I guess we could use the term blue bloods. They're very talented. Legacy's very good. They've come up through the ranks. They've won lower division titles. El Camino Real's one of the favorites to win the LA City section. They've had some great wins as well. They have a recent victory over Granada Hills, so they're one of the favorites. Crenshaw has a very good record, but Hamilton is the higher seed here. Crenshaw's had a very good year in their league, in the Coliseum League. Hamilton's coming out of the tougher league, the Western League. So we'll see. I think Hamilton will probably advance, but that is a very dangerous girls' game for them.
All right, fellas, let's change gears now, and we're going to go out to Carlos Pena, and he's going to talk about soccer.
Hi, folks. Welcome to the SoCal Pro Report. I'm Carlos Pena. Rich, Bob, Randy, thank you for that lovely introduction. Folks, last week we covered a couple of CIF, Southern and LA Division top fives. Let's finish it off this week. Here we go. Picking up where we left off, Catella, Western Christian, California, Archer School for Girls, and Valley Christian. Up next, Division 6, and Gabrielino up top, number 1, followed by Palm Desert Aerospace Academy, Indian Springs, Desert Mirage, and Marshall. And finally, Division 7, Fairmont Prep at the number 1 spot, followed by Buckley, Santa Clara, Academy of Careers and Exploration, ACE, and Silver Valley. Now, I like Ace and Silver Valley in this division. Ace with an explosive attacking offense, and Silver Valley with a couple of players with experience overseas in Germany. Now let's move on to boys soccer Division 5, and Coach Luis Luviano up to his old tricks, taking Hesperia back to the number 1 spot. I see them back in the championship game once again this year. They're followed by Ganesha, Baldwin Park, Crossroads, and Oak Hills, another high desert team. Moving on to Division 6. And we have Dunn, Kate, Brentwood School, St. Genevieve, and Ontario Christian. And finally, Division 7 Boys Soccer Southern Section, La Sierra Academy at the number 1 spot, followed by Academy of Careers and Exploration, Public Safety Academy, Vasquez, and Fairmont Prep. My money's on Ace, as they're led by junior Anthony Santanias with 44 goals this season already. Keep an eye on Ace, as they have their eyes set on a championship. And that wraps up our Southern CIF divisions. Now let's go ahead and take a look at LA section, starting off with girls. Looking at Los Angeles City section, Division 4, Burton is at the number 1 spot, followed by USC May, Stern, New Designs University Park, and Camino Nuevo filling in the 5th spot. Up next, Division 5 and Sun Valley Magnet is at the number 1 spot, followed by Gala, Collins Family, University Prep Value, and Gardena. Switching roles to LA City Boys section in Division 4, we have Animo Venice, USC Hybrid, Middle College, Contreras, and Newith. And finally, LA City Section Division 5, and we have University Prep Value at the number 1 spot, followed by Animo de la Hoya, Crenshaw, Sun Valley Magnet, and Sherman Oaks CES. And folks, that wraps up all our divisions, Southern, LA section. Starting next week, we'll start going into playoffs. We'll see how that pans out. And Rich, Bob, man, you guys got to get out of that studio. Do you even know what a pitch is? You probably don't even know what a red card is.
All right, interesting, man. Hey, you know what? While you were talking about all this stuff, Randy, I was just flashing on something Carlos said. He said, probably don't even know what a red card is. I mean, that's insulting. You know what? You got a red card?
Are you kidding? I carry a red card wherever I go.
Bob, you got one too?
I gotta have a red card.
I caught that too, man.
Carlos, you know what, dude? We all got red cards, brother. And you know what? You're out. Give
only-
Carlos a red card.
That's
Get when you're
it.
out for the
Carlos
season.
kicked
You will
out.
not be
It's
on
the only way I
air
can
next
get
week.
money out of
You're
Bank of America with
done,
this red
bud.
card.
You're out
Hey,
of here.
mine gets me one of those 10-foot-long receipts at CVS, you know.
CVO,
I
I
get
like
up to
that.
the holiday
yeah.
with this one, so I'm good.
Do you get the
I'm
discount
real
when you?
good.
I do, yeah. It's like
that's
78 coupons you get out of it.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Not bad.
Enough on Carlos. That's all he deserves for that comment. Hey, real quick, want to let you know what the dual meet finals were like in wrestling. Let's take a look and see where they finished. Let's go to Division 1. St. John Bosco, 50-26 over Servite. You know, that's an all Trinity League affair, my
That
friends.
is.
You had Paloma Valley in the Division 2 final, 40-36 over Palm Desert. Fountain Valley was a great match, man. 31-30 over a Milliken. Milliken's a wrestling school, so is Fountain Valley. Fountain Valley hosts their own 5-county tournament. I mean, they're there. But a 31-30 final is great. And by the way, Fountain Valley bested Chino Hills in the opening round, 81-0.
What?
81-0. That's right. But that wasn't the best score of the day. Let's continue on. Go to Division 4. It was San Clemente 37-24 over Beverly Hills. San Clemente, another wrestling program. Beverly Hills, an up-and-comer. South Torrance in Division 5. They defeated Arroyo 61-12 in the finals. But another good score was Valencia over Quartz Hills in the opening round, 83-0. It's great pitching to shut up, but 83-0 is just 1 point shy of a perfect match. That's like doing a perfect game. And then we go into Division 6, Corona del Mar, as you see, over Montebello, 48-16. However, the Oilers from Montebello had a perfect score, 84. They pinned everybody on Pomona's team. Everybody got pinned. And this is a dual meet, this is a dual meet invitational. Nobody should be losing 84-0, but the Oilers did it. Congratulations. It's been a long time since I've seen in any dual meet or anywhere where somebody got bested 84-0 in a playoff series.
Bring on Clovis
They
West.
pinned everybody.
Can they take down Clovis West?
I don't know.
Buchanan?
We'll have to find out. I mean, every year it's different, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, congratulations to all those dual meet finishers. Congratulations to Montebello. I mean, I knew you'd rather have the title, but when you can go out and say, look, man, in the playoffs, we bested somebody. We shut them out. We pinned everybody. That's as dominant performance as you can have, my friends.
I guess so.
All right, fellas, on a more somber moment, following up on the Kobe Bryant story, Kobe and his daughter were laid to rest, I believe on the 7th. Vanessa Bryant put out an Instagram message, and so they had a private service. The memorial service will be at Staples Center on the 24th. 2 for Little Mamba, 24 for Kobe's number, and 20 years Kobe had put in the NBA with the Lakers. Right now, however, we're going to leave you with the sights and sounds from John Altobelli, Orange Coast College, Bob.
Yeah, the family, there was a memorial out at Angel Stadium for the Altobelli family. A lot of people showed up. It was a good show of support, I think, of the community, and hopefully maybe a healing moment for a lot of people who have been hurting in these past couple of weeks that knew the Altobellis and the whole baseball community that knew him so well.
All right, we'll leave you with that. We'll see y'all next week.
One defining moment that I will always cherish and hold on to was in February of 2012. That was the day that I got to meet Coach Alto for the very first time. He had graciously decided to dedicate opening day of that season to my 12-year-old daughter Jessie, who had just lost her fight to cancer.
As I reflect back on the life that Carrie lived, I can confidently say that she had great conviction, and she made no apologies. She never settled, and she definitely left this earth without regret.
The same qualities and characteristics that guided John as a teacher on the field, or a teacher in the classroom, a coach on the field, a father, a husband, a mentor, was the same as a friend. What were those words? Loyalty, trust, respect, work ethic, and love. Powerful words, but Alto backed them up every day.
I stand here today in front of all of you to tell you about a pretty remarkable person. If I had knew that Friday, January 24th, was the last time I was going to see her, I would have smiled a little more, complained a little less, and lived in the moment as if it were my last. Alyssa was the funniest, most caring girl I have ever met. She always had my back and supported me no matter what. She always put others' needs before hers.
What we want to do right now is we'd love for you to all stand and take out your cell phones. What we want to do is take a moment and allow us to reflect on what we've listened. But we also want to give JJ and Lexi a mental picture of the love. And so if you would please turn on your phone lights and shine them towards the stage and show your light for the ones that we love so dearly.